Hey, it's the Phenomenal STEMist. How are you doing? Live on Phenomenal Financial Freedom. Good to see you. Do me a favor, share this. Just a little housekeeping to remind you that phenomenalstemist.com has all the information and the resources that I'm providing for you, whether it be the YouTube uh, channel or my book found on. Just to remind you, it's found on Amazon. The Phenomenal STEMist: How to Prepare a Successful STEM Student from the Womb to the University. Check out that book. It's available for you now. You can find the link on my website, phenomenalstemist.com. And of course, STEM Camp, STEP Prep, STEM Year. Feel free if you're interested in putting your kids in preparatory STEM courses fully online. You can also reach out to me via phenomenalstemist.com. But that's not what I want to talk to you about. What I wanted to really talk to you about today is the topic: STEM isn't for the smart, it's for the prepared. STEM is not for the smart, it's for the prepared. So those of you who know me on Phenomenal Financial Freedom, you know I focus heavily on financial literacy and doing what it takes to get yourself out of debt and provide for yourself prosperity, financial prosperity for yourself, and generational wealth for your family. And a lot of that has to do not only with tips on how to save and how to budget and invest. Um, Majority of capital that most people get their capital from working. Let's keep it real. Like, most people aren't starting businesses, which you should. You should definitely have a side business at least. Most people aren't creating products to sell, which I believe that you should, of course. Most people work, and that is okay. Most people find their purpose in working. That is quite all right. I see a few people watching. Tell me where you're watching from. Give me a hello in the chat, whether you're watching from Phenomenal Financial Freedom or whether you're watching from my YouTube channel or Facebook page. Listen, there's nothing wrong with getting a job. My question to you is, are you prepared for the jobs of the future that provide the most capital? Now, I know you should go based on your purpose for sure. That's okay. Find out what your purpose is. My question to you is, is your purpose STEM related? Do you want to be a nurse, a physician, a entrepreneur, a astronaut, an engineer, a computer scientist? Like, if you those fields provide the most capital. And my question to you is, are you prepared for that? So the top 10 jobs in 2021 were anesthesiologist, surgeon, general surgeon, oral and maxillofacial surgeon, orthodontist, obstetrician gynecologist, prosthodontist, psychiatrist, physician, a general physician or internist, internal medicine, pediatrician, childcare medicine, and a nurse anesthetist. Top 10. Top 10. I'll say that again, starting with 10. Nurse anesthetist. Pediatrician, number 9. Number 8, general physician. Number 7, psychiatrist, which is a physician. Number 6, a prosthodontist, which is a type of dentist, a specialized dentist. Orthodontist, which is another specialized dentist. Obstetrician gynecologist, which is a type of physician. Oral maxillofacial surgeon, which is a type of dentist. Surgeon, which is a type of physician. Anesthesiologist, which is a type of physician. The top 10 jobs are all medical doctors or dentists. Underneath that, I have 11 and 12 in the same article. Um, Dentist, number 11. Number 12, engineer. Number 13, information technology manager. It's not until we get to number 14 and 15 do we choose a non-STEM job, pilot and marketing manager. So 13 out of the 15 jobs require STEM at least as a minor, meaning all the top 10 require STEM at least as a minor. You don't have to major in a STEM field to become a physician, but you have to take general biology 1, general biology 2, general chemistry 1, general chemistry 2, organic chemistry 1, organic chemistry 2, general physics 1, general physics 2. And those classes, biochemistry 1 and 2. Those classes require algebra and calculus, pre-calculus and calculus, to get in those classes. Like, you can't get into general chemistry if you're not taking at least college level algebra. They're not taking you in the class. Right? Listen, guys, the classes that you need that are required for medical school require even a math prerequisite. So if you're not taking or prepared for mathematics, you can't even get into the classes that you need for medical school. Top 10 jobs of 2021 paying $200,000 a year or more. You're talking about financial security, $200,000 a year or more. All of them are physicians, some type of physician, and some type of dentist. The remaining out of the top 15, only 2 are not STEM related. And to be honest, in order to graduate from college, you need college level math just to get a bachelor's degree to become a marketing manager. Why am I saying all this? I'm saying this to make people understand that many times the key to financial prosperity and wealth is having a good job. And one of the major jobs that provide a substantial amount of wealth require a STEM degree, or at least a STEM minor, where you're taking multiple biology, chemistry, physics in classes today. Hey, Tiffany, I'm talking about one of the main ways of being financially free is having a good job. Today I'm speaking to a lot of African Americans and Latinos. That's my passion, to prepare them at the college level. And many of them, they do not have the high school preparation for college level math. And I just said the top 10 fields to get a good job, making $200,000 a year. Not to say that's the only job that you can get and the only degree that you can, the only way to wealth. But one of the major ways to wealth are STEM degrees. And if you want to have a STEM degree, that's my thing. If you ask a lot of people, even in college, they tell me, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a nurse. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a dentist. Part of the reason why is because I have passion. I saw my pediatrician take care of me when I was young. And part of me is because pediatrician is what's the number? Number 9th highest paid physician or job, period, in 2021. I want to be a physician, Dr. Byfield. Okay. A lot of people have dreams to become physicians, to become engineers, to become computer scientists. But they can't even take college algebra. When they come to college, they're not prepared to even take college level algebra. And if you can't take college algebra, you can't take general chemistry 1. You can't take general chemistry 1, you can't go to medical school. Period. Forget doing well in it. You got to be able to take it. You got to be able to be allowed to register for it, guys. And there are too many people of color that are taking rinky-dinky classes in high school. Too many times have I heard Black boys, especially those who want to stay in sports, their teachers are telling them to take financial algebra and whatever math class that's really not algebra 2. Do you know how many Black boys that I'm hearing? I'm looking at their transcripts and algebra 2 is not on their transcript. If that's not on their transcript, they're not taking college level algebra. You understand? And so biology, I say to my students all the time, science, engineering, math, STEM is not for smart people. It's for prepared people. It's for parents. Do you know what classes your children are taking? Parents, are you teaching your children math from 3, 4, 5 years old so they're not afraid of it when they're in high school? And so people can just come in and say, hey, don't take the real math class. Just take financial algebra. Get your good grades so you can play football. The highest paying positions, one of the easiest way to get to wealth is just through good jobs. And even people who don't have a STEM degree, you got to take college level algebra to get to graduate from college. And so what we're seeing is low retention rates. We're seeing people coming to college with dreams. I want to be X, Y, Z. They get in and they can't even take college algebra. They have to take intermediate algebra. And even that gives them a tough time. And then they drop out. So to be prepared for the highest paying jobs, you have to prepare your children from young. You can't wait till they get to college to major. And I say all the time, people say, I'm pre-med. Well, until you pass general biology 1, 2, organic 1, 2, general chem 1, 2, and general physics 1 and 2, don't tell me you're pre-med. You're not. You're in college trying to be, believing that you can, dreaming that you can. I'm asking us as a people to prepare yourself, prepare your children. You want the best paying job? You can't dream it up. You can't just go to college and say, I want to be an engineer. It doesn't work like that. But only parents can understand that for their children. You see your son, I have multiple videos of engineers talking about what they liked when they were kids. They like to pull things apart and put it back together. They like that. If your son is destroying your remote control, destroying your phone by picking, that's a future engineer. Do me a favor, start preparing him now to be an engineer. You can't wait till college where he says, I want to be an engineer, but I didn't take any math in high school or any real math in high school. If your child expresses interest in wanting to become a physician or pediatrician from a young age, that you got to foster that from young. You got to prepare them from young. Tiffany says, does high income equal wealth? I know that's not your point today, but that's just a thought. I agree with you, though. If people desire to work in STEM, they should take your advice. Listen, does high income equal wealth? Absolutely not. You know what I talk about all the time. This is not I don't usually talk about this, Wealth is a net worth. More assets than you have liabilities. And I have a whole part of my book that talks about STEM people who do succeed in becoming in STEM, but are horrible at financial literacy. You got to have both, though. You got to have a good amount of income, and you have to manage it well. You got to have both. And a lot of people don't know how to manage it well. So a lot of people get out of poverty. They might not have high level wealth, but they get out of poverty. I watch students that live in low income environments, and just by getting a respiratory therapy assisted degree. I'm not even asking people to go all the way up to medicine. Of course, these top 10 are the highest level. But just to get a respiratory therapist assistant, you're pulling $50,000. You're going from the ghetto to $50,000. Do you know how much you've released your family out of poverty? They might not be wealthy, but they're not poor no more. The key thing is, in order to become a respiratory therapist assistant where they're making 50,000 more than poverty when their family is, they gotta pass bio 1. They gotta pass anatomy and physiology 1. And in order to do that, you got to prepare them to pass it, not as they enter with high motivation in college, because there are too many hopes dashed when they get to college and they get their first biology test. You say, you know what? Biology is not for me. I'm not going to do respiratory therapist assistant anymore. It's not even as far as orthodontist, which is like what's number the orthodontist is, I think, the number 5 top. Simone says parents are allowing their children to choose their classes in high school, and often the child chooses the least challenging route. That's exactly what's happening, Simone. And I have a phenomenal STEM camp year prep program. My highest excitement is amongst parents of elementary. My lowest excitement, it's my parents with high school kids. I have it at every level. I have beginner from pre-K to the 3rd grade. I have intermediate from 4th grade to the 8th grade. And I have high school, 9th grade to 12th grade, where I'm talking about SAT prep. Not even taking the classes is important, Simone. You have to get a certain score on your SAT to graduate high school to even get into college now. Students have to start doing well, not taking the SAT. They have to be what we call college ready. And they're using SAT scores, which I don't even agree with, but it's just the reality that we're facing, and parents need to understand this. They're using SAT scores to determine if you're college ready now. So if you don't get a 480 or something like that, 480 on the reading SAT, you're not graduating from high school. You have to take a GED. So do parents even know that? Or they're just sending their kids to the wolves? Maybe they're tired. I get it. You've been raising your kids from womb, and now they're at high school. You make a decision, not dread. You can't leave them. Let me tell you, number 1, the highest risk in the brain function. You hear that in my book, like levels of brain. The highest risk is high school. They make the dumbest decisions. Their brain is not developed well enough. So they make really risky decisions: speeding, drugs, alcohol, illicit sex. If any point you need to be really engaged in your child's education, it's high school. Parents need to be engaged all the way. My mother didn't know much, but she was going to every parent-teacher conference meeting up to high school. She sat in my anatomy and physiology high school. My Miss English knows my mother. And if you talk to Vivian English, she'll tell you she probably hardly saw a lot of people. But there are a lot of people that didn't get a PhD in a STEM degree. And that's fine. That's fine. But if your kid's dream is, here's the thing. There are a lot of people who do have dreams to be. That's my issue. Their kids, so many young boys want to be engineers. They want to be technologists. They want to be physicians. This is who I'm talking about today. Because trust me, yes, Tiffany, you can make money in any field that if you hustle. And of course, I talk about that all the time. But right now, I'm talking about STEM. If you have a dream to be a high earner in a STEM degree, you gotta prepare. Tiffany says, I didn't know kids choose their own classes in high school. I thought these courses were set regarding their sciences, math. Girl, they're set. Yep, they're choosing their own courses. And advisors, especially advisors who don't, anyway, advisors who don't have the belief in people of color, they'll say, oh, take this. I told a student today, she's like, oh, you just take this easy class. Don't just take this financial algebra. That's what the teacher, that's what the student told me, she says. And he like, yeah, listen, not yet. Give me the easy one. Give me the easy one. Cool. So it's a combination, but you're not going to be able to motivate a high schooler. You're going to have to start motivating that high schooler from young. They gotta have an appetite for math and learning from young. It can't start at high school. It gotta start at the womb. Of course, I'm plugging my book. It's available on Amazon right now. From the womb to the university, you gotta start from the womb. My thing is, a lot of people aren't starting from the womb, and kids are choosing their own classes. In Florida, you get to choose as well, Simone. Yep. And when most people, like I didn't have to take anatomy and physiology. Yeah. I chose it, but I had a motivation for it. Hold on, here's a math teacher as well as administration in the high school system. My wife is always calling the guidance counselor, making sure that our daughter gets the most rigorous science and math courses. Curtis, you are an educator. You know the ins and outs. You know the deal. So many parents do not. Trudy knows the deal. It's up to the parents. It's up to the parents to instill it in the child from young. And then once the child, here's another thing. So there's multiple levels of blame. So with the child, with the parents' blame, it's like you're not focusing heavily on your children from young, teaching them math from young. You leave them to the wolves once they get to high school to fend for themselves. That's the parents' blame. But on the other hand, there might be parents who believe in their children and training their kids, and then there's these educators that are not believing in the kids, and telling them, oh, don't take that, or you might want to think about this. You sure you want to take? You have those, and so it's very important for parents to be advocates of children. Very important for parents to be advocates of children. When they say you don't have to take, no, I know I've prepared my child from a young age. They can. But there's so many people that don't feel that they can. What's up, Don? I love AP courses in the beginning, but I also love dual enrollment. I'm not sure if New York has that. Tell me if I'm wrong, Curtis or Simone. Do you guys have dual enrollment where students in high school are allowed to take classes at, let's say, York? They're allowed to take classes at, Brooklyn College. Do y'all have that? That's what we have in Florida, where you can take, but don't take no rinky-dinky class. There's too many students coming to Seminole or Valencia. These are colleges, state colleges, like Brooklyn College, like York College in New York. Okay, y'all call it college now. College now. I like college now. We call it dual enrollment. I like college now better than AP, because if you don't, I don't necessarily believe standardized tests really reflect a student's progress. And so many students, especially of color, subjective standardized tests trip them up. Nervousness tripped them up. Anxiety trips them up. All kinds of things. So if you actually take the actual college class, whether you get a B or a C in it, whether you pass the test, an AP test doesn't matter. That's why I like college now or dual enrollment in the case of Florida, because you're actually taking the class and you're taking classes that matter. You need parents. I'm talking about preparation. One more time. STEM isn't for the smart. And college period. It's not for the smart. It's for the prepared. You go online and you go to academia or academic on any college website that you go to, and they have plans, educational plans for different careers. And you need to look at those general ed courses and those major courses and choose those classes. Don't let people come in and promote certain classes to you that really don't count towards graduation, like college success. If you're a high level, if you know you've prepared your child and they're a high level learner, don't put them in college success. Put them in English 1. That's a general ed class. Put them in history. That's a general ed class. So instead of taking history AP, or instead of taking history in high school, you take U.S. government history in college, and you will get high school credit and you will get real college credit towards your major. Especially kids that are unprepared. They don't have a lot of math classes, or let me say institutions that don't have chemistry classes available to you because you go to a public school in a poor neighborhood. I'd say take foundations of chemistry in college instead of nothing in high school. So when you get to college, you're allowed to take chemistry 1. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have to take chemistry 1, and you could wait to college to take chemistry 1, but you could take foundations of chemistry. That's a college course that is better than AP chemistry that you don't pass your chemistry exam. Or you can't, or let me rephrase that your school doesn't have chemistry availability for you. That's a low-level chemistry course. That's also a prerequisite for Chem 1 if there's no chemistry available at your poor institution. You have to know these things. So pick classes that actually can count to help you in college. I have students that took solar it's a college course and it counted as elective for high school, but it's not a general ed class and it's not for your major. So it really did not count at all in college. You want to take classes that count, and knowledge is key. Being informed. Simone says, Maya, this is where parents really need to be involved. There are guidance counselors who will not tell certain students about college now. And then there are schools that don't offer college now. That's right. So parents have to really say, I want my kid in college now. Maybe freshman year, you could put them in AP classes. And if they excel in AP classes their freshman year, from sophomore, junior, senior, they're in college now. Or if you feel like you want to put them the first 2 years in AP courses and the last 2 years in college now, or according to my state, dual enrollment. But if you're just sending your kids off for them to make decisions on their own, listen. And if you don't know, then you need to find resources. Like I say this before, and I'm really, really not trying to plug myself. I'll say, like, the passion that I have today is because another Black boy came to me unprepared, came to me with dreams, with no preparation. That hurts my spirit, because when you have dreams with no preparation, it's very difficult to succeed. You can do it, but it's so hard, and it takes definitely much longer, which is not a problem. But we're talking about wealth here. The faster you can make wealth and set yourself up and have scholarships, the less debt you will have, the less debt you will put on your family. All of this compounds itself, man. Guys, I like you guys for joining. I've never heard of College Now. And College Now is a hidden secret, just like dual enrollment is a hidden secret, where you only choose certain people. I say it all the time. People, they only search. But the argument for the institution is we choose people that we know are motivated. We don't want to just put anybody in College Now and then they just mess up our reputation, right? So you know who they're looking for? They're looking for parents who are involved. They're looking for parents who are constantly going to parent-teachers meetings. They're looking for that's the parents who are always asking questions about scholarships. You can't put it on your son or daughter at high school. I know you say it's up to them. It's too early. Their brain is not that developed yet. You got to walk them through K through 12. You have to be involved all the way. And then once they get to college, they are adults. You help them in prayer. So, guys, STEM is not for the smart. I know I went a long time, longer than I expected. STEM is for the prepared. Thank you guys for joining. The top 10, I'll say it again. The top 10 jobs, starting with number 10, that made the most money is the nurse anesthetist, $174,000. The pediatrician, $175,000. The physician, $206,000. The psychiatrist, $208,000. The prosthodontist, which is a dentist, $208,000. The orthodontist, was another type of dentist, $208,000. The OBGYN, $208,000. The oral max, meaning the maxillofacial surgeon, a type of dentist, $208,000. A general surgeon, $208,000. Anesthesiologist, $208,000. That's the top paying jobs. Now you can make more money by owning a business. That's a different story. But in order to do any of those, every single last one of them are STEM required. You got to be prepared, and it can't start when they get to college. They have to be prepared from the womb for that. Random, but am I the only one who thought these professions made more money than this? Yo, that's another thing. And it's 208 is a stretch for some of them, depending on the state that you're living in. It don't make as much. And another thing, in my opinion, this is why I didn't go into medicine, just my thing, right? The amount of hours you have to work for that. Like, I get paid a good amount of money, and I don't. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? So if I work the amount of time, like the amount of time I work for the amount of money I make, is why I make the money I make. If I double the time that I worked and thereby double the salary, it would be the same. Right? So no, they don't make that. There's more money to be made. But like I said before, that's another story. But if you want to make money through STEM degrees, you got to be prepared, guys. Got to be prepared. You guys have a great night. STEM isn't for the smart. It is for the prepared. If you want to prepare your child from the womb to university, you can find it on Amazon, The Phenomenal STEMist, How to Prepare a Successful STEM Student from the Womb to the University. So you guys, you have a good night.